Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if you're new. My name is Nastasia. First off, I want to apologize if the lighting's a little weird, if I look a little, like, very bright. I usually use natural lighting, but there's like a big storm rolling in right now, and it's not enough light. So the ring light is out, but not that you guys really care. Today I'm doing a wedding slash relationship slash, no, I think that was it, Q&A update kind of thing. I realized I haven't really kept you guys in the loop with like the wedding planning and stuff when I kind of said I was going to. And I just wanted to take this opportunity to do that. So I asked you guys some questions on my Instagram and on my YouTube community page. So if you're ever wondering, that's where I post questions for videos like this. You can follow me on Instagram, or you can follow me here and subscribe to me and keep updated with that. So we're gonna go through those. Before I get into it, if you end up liking this video, give it a big thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel so you never miss out on a video every time I post. My Instagram is right here. And yeah, let's get started. So I wish I had a nice cup of coffee for this, iced coffee with my cinnamon bun creamer that I love so much, but I'm out. So we're just gonna have to pretend. I adjusted the lighting even more. Hopefully that's a little better. Okay, so I'm just gonna go down some of these questions and yeah, all right. Which part of your wedding day are you most excited for? The part I envision is walking down the aisle and seeing Kai's face. That's what I'm most excited for, and just like having that moment and like seeing him, and it's like, I don't know, walking down the aisle I'm most looking forward to. Do you think Kai will cry when he sees you coming down the aisle? Yeah, I do. I don't know if I will, because I am a crier, but when it's like a very like anticipated kind of cry, like a shock, I don't cry because I'm too like overwhelmed. I mean, I just kind of shut down. But like when he proposed to me, I didn't cry, which was shocking, but I was so surprised in that moment, because I knew he was gonna propose, but I didn't know it was gonna be that day, that I was just like, how did you pull this off? Like, it was, so for me, I didn't cry because I was like, I don't know, all our family was around and stuff like that. So I might not cry walking down. I think I will for sure when I'm like reading the vows and stuff like that. But I do think he'll cry. Ooh, you guys hear that thunder? And I told you guys, you know, you can ask me whatever you want that you want to know. So some of these are a little more scandalous. Did you find it awkward to have the boundaries talk? Did you have to get into specifics? So for us, it wasn't awkward, but we're both pretty open people. I mean, I share my life with like 15,000 plus people on the internet. So, I mean, how private can I really be as a person? And he's just very unashamed and confident and stuff like that, which is great. So for us, it wasn't awkward, just because I think part of the reason it wasn't awkward is because we have the same convictions and we had the same, like, you know, all right, we do not want to do this before marriage, no matter what, no matter who we end up marrying, even in the beginning. And when we had the boundaries talk, oh man, like when we had the real boundaries talk, okay, let's talk about this, of like our boundaries physically and stuff like that. I want to say it was like, it was either week 1 or week 2 of dating, like of like meeting each other at all. So we talked about it pretty quickly. For me, that's something I recommend you guys do, because it's better safe than sorry, especially if you don't really know the person, or at least putting it out there like, hey, I just want you to know, like, my faith is really important to me, I'm saving myself for marriage, or something like that. I think it's very important to put it out there. But for us, because we both kind of, on our first date, we talked about our whole testimonies. We talked for like 9 hours and talked about God all the time and stuff like that. So we already knew it was going to be very, very similar. It was just more like ironing out the details. So it wasn't awkward for us. Did we get into specifics? I mean, I think we didn't really have to, because we decided we weren't going to do anything more than like kissing, hugging, and cuddling until we got married. So it wasn't like I don't know. I mean, yeah, we got into specifics when it came to like, you know, under no circumstances do clothes come off kind of thing. But it was a little bit of an obvious thing for us, but we just kind of put it there. But as for like specifics about things, we didn't really have to, because those boundaries were so kind of like early put in the dirt of like, we're not going past this, that we didn't even have to talk about this stuff, because it was like, our boundaries are way over here. Where are you going on your honeymoon? Well, depending on the state of the planet. But our plan is to go to the Dominican Republic. We're staying at an all-inclusive, so that'll be fun, and we're really excited because we're doing a little bit of a longer honeymoon. We're doing about 2 weeks, so I'm very excited to just get away from all responsibilities and sip a nice little orange juice on the beach and live my life. What is your stance on kissing / touching before marriage? So, oh, it's pouring. If you guys hear that, it's the rain. So my stance, and like Kai and my stance, is that, so I'll tell you what we're doing. So basically, we kiss, we hug, we cuddle, but like, we don't really make out much, not because we don't want to, but because we know we can easily lead into other things. So we just kiss, and then when it comes to like touching, you know, obviously it's tempting. It's gonna be tempting if you love somebody, no matter what, or even like somebody. But we have a very basic kind of, well, actually for us, this is interesting. There are certain things that we figured out that like, we just can't do because it's too tempting. Like for instance, when we're cuddling on the couch and stuff, I'm not gonna wear shorts. Why? Because it's just too tempting. And when you start touching legs and all that thing. So I don't wear shorts. That's something that probably doesn't apply to everybody, but for us, that's what we're not gonna do that when we're just cuddling on the couch. And then something else is that I just try to make sure that I am like modest in a way that like wouldn't tempt him. Thankfully, my style is always comfort anyway. Like I just wear this kind of stuff on a daily, which I'm going to talk about this shirt and a couple other items later. But so it's not really hard for me, but I just try to like be respectful so that it's as least tempting as possible. I think it's, anyway, I'll get into some of that a little bit more later, but yeah. Has it been a battle having your focus placed also on a guy rather than fully on God? I think this is a good question. Yes and no. When I dated other guys and was in other relationships, it was almost impossibly hard to hit focus on God. Like, really, really difficult. And then I would usually make them an idol in my life. With Kai, it's not really like that because he points me to Christ so well that even being with him and thinking about him, I think about Jesus. Like, it's just kind of automatic because we're always talking about Jesus together. We're always talking about the gospel. We're always talking about the Bible and different things like that. We pray with each other every single day. We read the Bible together. And so for me, in my relationship, it is absolutely not hard to focus on God because my fiance pushes me towards God every second he's with me. So I'm very grateful, I'm very blessed because I know how hard it can be to do that balance, which is why it's so important, ladies, that you're, you know, whoever you're dating, your boyfriend, your fiance, or your husband even, is a spiritual leader in your life because that makes all the difference. Where have you seen God's providence in your life? All right, just to make sure, I'm looking up the definition of providence because I think I know what it means, but I don't want to totally go off track. Care or preparation in advance, so kind of like God preparing and caring and all that. Where have I seen that? Honestly, and I'm not just saying this, like Kai and our relationship is one of the greatest providence that God has placed in my life. And I think to the point that sometimes this happens weekly, if not daily, I will look down at my ring and just be like, how can I ever doubt God's goodness for me? Because I have so many tear-stained pages of prayers to God about like, do you even have my husband, do you even this and this and this, and please don't hear me that is like the pinnacle of your life, absolutely not, but it was just something that like I love so much, and I have hashtag daddy issues, and I was just wondering if like, you know, am I even gonna have this? Do you even have someone for me that loves you and will love me? And just the way it happened, and just like how if it weren't for God, like there's no chance we would have met, much less fell in love, much less got engaged and are getting married and stuff like that. Like it all fell so perfectly in line, and I'm actually gonna do a whole video about this kind of, because it's crazy. I had an epiphany the other day about a prayer and stuff that I prayed like 2 years ago, and I felt like God put certain scriptures on my heart, and I understood them a different way than they were actually intended, and so then I was like, maybe I didn't hear from God. And like 2 days ago, I figured out like God answered this prayer through Kai like a year ago, and I didn't even realize. So it's just a cool thing. But I've seen God's providence in so many areas of my life, but just one of the biggest that's on my mind recently is Kai's presence in my life and how well he loves me, and just I praise God because I don't deserve it at all. When is the wedding? Our wedding is in March. It is on March 21st, which is a Sunday. And as cheesy as it is, we chose it because it'll be 3/21/21, and we just thought it was like a cool thing. And then 2 plus 1 equals 3, and 21/21. We're really cheesy. Has temptation gotten more difficult since being engaged? I knew I'd get this question. For me, no. For Kai, I mean, he's not here, so I don't want to totally answer for him. I think it's been challenging just the whole time for Kai. For me, it's actually gotten less tempting because it's like I see a light at the end of the tunnel. It's like there's a wedding date, it is 6 months away, we're good, we are good. Whereas if there's no like goal kind of in mind, or like no like end in sight, I'm like, whatever, who even cares? I mean, it's just way harder to be motivated to stay pure without any kind of light at the end of the tunnel for me. So for me, it's actually gotten easier. He's not here right now, so I can't necessarily, I don't want to put words in his mouth. Tips for staying on budget for the wedding. Oh my gosh, can somebody give me some tips? No, actually, we're not doing that bad. I'm a little bit of a stickler for money when it comes to the wedding, because me personally, this does not have to be you. This is just me. I find putting all my savings and everything I have and own and want and all this and love into like an 8-hour day is insane to me. Like spending tens of thousands of dollars on a few hours is not, it's a no for me, dog. So we have a budget of $6,000 for everything, and we're sticking to that pretty well. Right now it's a little bit over, but I'm trying to make some cuts. But anyway, it's not too bad. And I'll just do a whole video on how I'm saving money on my wedding and stuff, because I could go on and on and on, but I am working really hard to not spend a lot of money on my wedding. Recommendations for premarital counseling books. I don't have any premarital counseling books to recommend exactly. I do have this one that my friend Kendra sent me. I freaking love her. She is going to be linked below because she has a YouTube channel. It's called A Christ-Centered Wedding. I haven't read it yet, but she sent it to me and I need to read it. But she said this one's insanely good. So there's that. I mean, I don't know any premarital counseling books necessarily. I mean, the Bible. But yeah, I definitely recommend premarital counseling, and a lot of times whoever you have do that will have books that they want you to read. What do you do to ensure that your partner isn't an idol in your heart before God? So I kind of touched on this earlier, but making sure they are, you know, if it's a guy, that he is pushing you towards the Lord, or if you're the guy, that you are pushing her towards the Lord. That is the best way, in my opinion, to make sure that they're not an idol in your life. Also make sure that you're not blowing off your time with God. You know, spend time in your word, spend time in prayer. You know, don't just because you're in a relationship now or you're dating, which I know is exciting and all that, but make sure you still make time for God. Should you ask your partner if your clothes are appropriate to wear? I think this is an interesting question. So, in my opinion, it's hard to answer in a way. The Bible calls us to submit to our husbands, not to every man or anything like that. So it doesn't even say, boyfriend wasn't really a thing then. However, I know I'm marrying Kai, so I do practice submitting to him now because, goodness, I know I need to practice. So for me, there are times where let me put it this way. There's never been a time where he will be like, go change. That's also partially because I dress in sweatpants and t-shirts pretty much all the time. But it's usually like if I feel convicted while I'm wearing something, I'll be like, is this too short, or is this too this, or is this too whatever? And he'll be honest, but he's never been mean about it. And usually he'll even be like, I mean, not for me, but I'm like, well, yeah, well, still. So I think it's the respectful thing to do personally, but also I think you should examine your heart. If you are wearing things that are constantly, that you feel convicted about, maybe address that in your heart with God. Also, if it's something where if I wore this t-shirt that totally covers me, and Kai would never do this, but in another world, if Kai was like, you can't wear that, I would be like, why? I would ask for biblical evidence of why. What am I doing wrong? What am I, I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt, but I'm saying, why? Show me why. But if I'm convicted, I'll be like, yeah, I get it. Did you have a hard time telling your fiance about your mental health struggles? How did he react and what did he say? So anybody who doesn't know, I have anxiety and depression, and I've had it, I don't know, as long as I've really known it. It's a chemical imbalance thing for me. So part of it is I talked about it on my channel even before we met in person, and he found me through my YouTube channel. So I actually haven't asked him if he watched any of my anxiety videos. So I'm not sure if he knew that way, but I don't remember how I brought it up. I just so flippantly, I just talk about my anxiety or depression. I talk about my mental health struggles because I'm not afraid to, hence why I talk about it to thousands of people on the internet. So for me, it wasn't hard to talk about it. However, what is hard and what was hard was feeling like he was gonna run away when I was experiencing those struggles, and he never ever did, and he was always like, I know it's just gonna take consistency and you seeing it from me, but I'm not going anywhere. So that was more scary to me, is it's one thing to tell somebody, but it's another thing for them to go through it and still stick around, because most guys I dated, all of them basically, didn't stick around because of that. But keep in mind that the right person that God has for you will. And how did he react and what did he say? He was super chill about it. I mean, he was like, everybody has stuff. He also grew up with his mom and his two sisters, obviously his dad too, but he has two sisters and his mom who are all emotional like me. So because of that, he was pretty used to stuff like that. Do you still take medication for mental health? Yes, I do. And I tried to get to lower my dosage this year. 2020 and COVID and all the things, and I just could not do it, so I went back to my normal dosage. How do you respond lovingly to people when they say you're getting married too young and or will regret it? We haven't had that, thankfully, while we've been engaged, really. We've had some people say, why don't you just stay engaged longer, a year or 2 or 3 or whatever? And we're like, nah, no, it's not in the cards for us. But we haven't had a lot of people say that. But I guess if they say we're getting married too young or that we might regret it, we basically say, you know what, we trust God in this, and we trust that if he doesn't want this to happen, he's gonna stop it because we submit to him, and we have only gotten confirmation from the Lord so far. So I in no way think we are going to regret this. Divorce is not an option in our family. In between Kai and I, it is not an option. It's not even a word we're gonna say. So like, we're not gonna regret it. We're gonna give it to the Lord. What can you say about Christians dating non-believers? I actually have a whole video on this, so I'm going to put a little card right here for you, so you can check it out there. Although you guys are waiting until marriage, do you ever have conversations about what your expectations are in the bedroom when you're married? So a little more saucy. Yeah, kind of. Only because basically the only thing we've talked about is Kai being very, very, very kind and saying he doesn't have any expectations and that no matter what, everything is going to be perfect and everything is going to be fine, and we are both saving ourselves for marriage, and we've never broken that promise with each other or with anybody else, so thankfully that's not going to kind of pose another possible issue of comparison or anything like that. So yeah, we've kind of talked about expectations. I don't want to say it in that way because it's just like, basically, he's just been like, I love you. I just love you. No matter what, I love you. So whatever happens, I love you. So thankfully, I lucked out with that one. Are you going on your honeymoon right after your wedding? We will be going about a day after our wedding, a day and a half. Another juicy question. Would you consummate the marriage on your wedding day or wait until the day after? We're just gonna play it by ear. No matter what, we're just gonna be so happy to be married and to have formed that covenant with God. So we're just gonna play it by ear. Do you ever doubt whether or not you got engaged too quickly? Absolutely not. We prayed about it a lot. We knew probably within the first month of dating that we wanted to marry each other, and it just kept getting, those feelings kept getting stronger and more clarity on that. We still joke that we're in the honeymoon phase because we love each other so much. Like, we are still like giddy for each other, and everybody just kept saying it's just the honeymoon phase, just the honeymoon phase, but it never stopped and it's been a year. So no, but we prayed a lot before we decided to that we're gonna get engaged soon and stuff. And ever since, I mean, I'm just so excited to marry him. If it was truly up to us and our family's feelings were involved, which of course they are because we love our families, we would elope because we're that sure that we want to be married. But we are having a traditional kind of wedding and stuff and having people there. But yeah, no, not a single regret. Have you taken any premarital counseling? We just started premarital counseling, so we will be doing that until the wedding. How can you obtain a friendship before attraction? So I'm assuming this kind of means like how to become friends with a person first before you date them. What I will say to this is that's not always the case. A lot of times it's the case. Sometimes people are friends for a long time or something and then it turns into something. That wasn't the case for Kai and I. The first time we met, we knew we liked each other and we started dating and we never stopped. Like it wasn't like a friend thing. But I do know couples that they were friends and then they became more than friends and then they got married and all that. So I would say even if you aren't friends first, they can still become your best friend. Kai is my best friend. But I also just fell in love with him at the same time that he became my best friend. So it might be in a different order for you. But I would say just be yourself. I mean, this is dumb advice, I guess, but just be yourself. And if you want to be friends with somebody before you date them, if that makes you more comfortable, I would say communication's a big thing. If you feel like you might be leading them on, communicate that. But yeah, just treat them how you would treat a friend, I guess. What kind of wedding dresses do you like? I will put some on the screen for you. None of these are my actual dress because I'm not going to show them on the internet, but until after my wedding, then I'll show you guys. But these are some that I tried on or I just loved and brought as inspiration for the dress that I did pick. What has been the best and worst parts of wedding preparation? Oh my gosh. The best part is when things get done. That's my favorite part. The worst part is planning. I don't enjoy planning the wedding. Thankfully my future mother-in-law, Kai's mom, loves planning weddings, so she's doing a lot of the stuff that I hate doing. And my bridesmaids are helping, my mom's helping and all that stuff, but I don't like planning a wedding. I don't like planning big party things. So for me, most of it isn't fun. I like doing my registry. I liked wedding dress shopping. I just love that I'm getting married to Kai. I mean, even if we had to literally get married in a mud puddle under a highway sign, I'd be so happy. So anyway, this video's gotten very long, but I wanted to show you a couple pieces of clothing I recently got, because you guys know I'm going on more of this minimalist thing and only getting clothes that I truly, truly love. Elevated Faith sent me a few things, and I just want to show them to you guys because I love them. The first one is this t-shirt. I love this. I love the color. You can't really tell. It looks really gray right now on the viewfinder, but it's more of like a tan-ish gray, which I love. I love that color. And it has a little skull with the flowers coming out, and it says, "I've been made new." And I usually do not like have clothes with skulls or anything on it, but I liked this one because it literally is from like Dead to Alive. I got a large because I just like large things, so that I can tie it or whatever. But it's so comfy, cozy, and it's just this little thing, and I think it's perfect for laying your cardigans or stuff. I want to show you a couple of the other things that they sent me though. Next one being this ring. I'm trying to make it see. It has a little flower on it. Let me take it off and see if you guys can see it. It has a really pretty little, cute little flower kind of engraved in it. It's just like an oval, and it's rose gold, and I really like it, and it fits me perfectly. So I have this one with this ring, and then this one with my engagement ring. I have this shirt as well. If you follow me on my Instagram, I have this all the time in my outfits of the day little highlight. It says "Grow in Grace," and literally has stains on it because I just wore it the other day. I'm constantly wearing these clothes. I love them. This one I got in a medium, I think, but it's perfect for tying as well or layering, and it's so comfy, and I really, really do like it a lot. And this sweatshirt, I'm just obsessed. I love sweatshirts. I love them. And I got this in a large because I love big sweatshirts. Kai loves it too. He always borrows it from me. But it says, "Do not fear," and I honestly need that right now. And then it has the verse, the "Do not fear" verse on the sleeve here, and it's so cozy, guys. Oh my gosh. And I got a really big one because I like wearing it with leggings and stuff and it going really long, but I absolutely love this. And the last thing is this little coffee cup they sent me. It says, "No season is ever wasted," which, come on, is so perfect for 2020 because even this season, even though it's crazy, is not wasted. And it's so cute, and it's like the perfect little, this is just like my cozy fall vibes. So guys, I will have all of Elevated Faith's information in the description box. I'm so happy that you watched this video today. Thank you for doing that. My face looks very white right now. But I love you guys so much, and I will see you soon. Bye guys.